Hello students, myself CA Rakesh Sharma and today I will teach you about the Contract Act. So before proceeding further about the provisions, let us talk about some important things which may be important in the exam. So let us start. First one is this act is governed by Indian Contract Act. 1872. This act is governed by Contract Act 1872. It was implemented by the Britishers on 1st of September 1872. So we will write in short implemented or came into the force on 1st of September 1872. It is applicable on whole of India including Jammu and Kashmir. Earlier, it was not applicable on Jammu and Kashmir, but after the revocation of Article 370, it is now applicable on Jammu Kashmir also. So, applicable on all of all of India. Okay. Now we will move to next topics of this chapter. Uh, See, this Contract Act is divided into many sections, and many sections were earlier used, but now they were revoked or removed from the Contract Act. Section 1 to 75 is talk about general provisions of Contract Act. Section 76 to 123 were talk about Sale of Goods Act, sale of goods. But in 1930, this Contract Act is was too washed, so Britishers implemented another act which is Sales of Goods Act. In 1930, Britishers removed this part of Contract Act and implement another act which is Sales of Goods Act 1930. Okay, section 124 to 147 is all about indemnity and guarantee. Section 148 to 181 is all about bailment and pledge. Section 182 to 38 is all talk about agency. These all are special provisions of contract. These are special provisions of contract. These are special provisions. And the section 239 to 266 talked about the partnership, but in year 1932, another act came and these sections removed by the Britishers. And the name of that act is Indian Partnership Act 1932. So I can conclude that only these sections, section 1 to 75 and section 124 to 238 are now the part of contract act. Okay, got it? Okay, sir. So let's move further to the topic. What is contract? What is contract? So section 2H defines contract, an agreement enforceable by law. By okay. A contract is an agreement enforceable by law. Now we can explore this section. So what is there are two things we can see here, an agreement and enforceability by law. There are two things, an agreement and enforceable by law. So let us talk about what is agreement. So before talking directly about the agreement, I want to clarify some words so that we can understand agreement in better way. See, one offer. What is offer? Suppose I want to sell you a laptop, so I give you offer. Will you purchase my laptop? This is an offer. Or in other words, we can say this is an proposal. If offer is accepted, if offer is accepted, it becomes promise. It becomes promise. What is promise, sir? When offer is accepted, it becomes promise. In other words, when the person whom offer is made signifies his assent, then it becomes promise. In simple words, when offer is accepted, then it becomes promise. When I add consideration into the promise, when I add consideration into the promise, it becomes agreement. So what is consideration, sir? Consideration means something in return. In a contract, you give me something, I will give you something. That is consideration. What you are receiving and what I am getting, this is consideration. So when we add consideration into the promise, it becomes agreement. And when agreement is enforceable by law, it is called contract. So this agreement, if I add enforceability into the agreement, it becomes contract. Okay. When offer is accepted, it becomes promise. When I add consideration into the promise, it becomes agreement. And agreement which is enforceable by the law is called contract. So this agreement is here. Or we can say this agreement is here. Okay. Okay, sir. Now, what is enforceability by the law? Enforceability by law means a contract must give legal obligation. It must create a legal obligation for the both the party. Both party can enforce a contract into the court. Okay. What is enforceability? Which give legal obligation. Or here, an agreement to become a contract must give legal obligations. Legal obligations means enforceability. What is the necessary thing in an agreement in order to form a contract? Enforceability. So what we can conclude that? We can conclude that all contracts are agreement. Yes. Can we say that? Yes, all contracts are agreement. But all contracts, sorry, all agreements are not contract. Why? Because agreement may be enforceable or not enforceable. If the agreement is enforceable by the law, it becomes contract. If agreement is not enforceable by the law, it is not contract. Okay, okay, sir. So again, coming to the book, contract means agreement plus enforceability by the law. Just take an example. Mr. A offers Mr. B to sell his car for 5 lakhs. B said, yes, okay, okay, I will purchase. Then this is an offer, this is the acceptance and becomes promise. This is the consideration. This and this is the consideration. Is it a contract? Yes, it is a contract. What A will get? A will get 5 lakh rupees. What B will get? B will get car. What if A deny for the car? And what if B deny for the 5 lakhs? Both parties can sue each other in case the obligation is not completed by one of the party. Okay. So enough for the today. We will discuss another topics in next class. Have a nice day. Thank you. कितनी देर की हो गई?